Hi guys, thank you for watching. Welcome to this video and to my channel if you're new here. I'm Debbie if you don't know me, and in today's video we're going to be playing again with the Blood Lust palette from Jeffree Star. I've done a couple of videos already using this palette, which I will link up in the cards for you as we go through this video, and also I'll link them on the end card as well if you want to see the versatility of the palette, because that's what this little mini series I've been doing this week is all about, is to show you that you don't have to just stick with the palette that you've bought. You can bring other things in that you may have in your collection. So you might not have the specifics that I'm going to be using, but I think you'd have something similar that you could bring in. So if you're not familiar with the palette, where have you been? but this is the palette, of course. It's absolutely gorgeous. And today's video, I put this dress on. It's my birthday today and I just wanted to feel a little bit sparkly, and I put this dress on because it's got some sparkles and it's like a greeny teal kind of colour. So I thought, what better shade to use than this one, so Vile Serpent, and I'm going to use a touch of Your Majesty just to blend that out. So only those two shades, so it's all I'm going to be using in this one, and then I'm going to bring something else in, or a couple of other things in. So I've never used the Beauty Killer palette by Jeffree Star on camera. I've shown it in my Eyeshadow Palette Collection video, which I'll also link down in the description for you. But I've never used this on camera, and I want to use that shade called Expensive because I think it's going to go really, really well with the Vile Serpent shade. And then, because my dress has got a bit of silver in it, I need some silver in the look, and there isn't any silver in either of those two palettes. And rather than bring another palette in, I've got this gel liner in the shade OK Boomer by Melt Cosmetics, which I'll just show you close up. So that's the shade of that one, just to be able to do a little wing, because if you've been here before you'll know wings feature highly in my looks. I do love a good wing. So I haven't done my highlight yet. I'm going to see sort of how bluey green the look ends up, and I've got a couple of potential options of what I might want to use there at the end. So I'll come back on camera with highlight done so you can see the final look there. But without further ado, let's get started. I'll scoot you in and we'll start with that Vile Serpent shade and start building up the look. So for the Vile Serpent shade, I'm going to dip in very lightly because I've done my base makeup again, which if anyone watched my previous video, you'll know how much fallout I got. So I'm going very, very carefully to make sure that I don't end up with lots and lots of fallout, although this shade doesn't seem as fallout heavy as the Executioner shade. That was the one that gave me the trouble. So I'm going to build up the colour predominantly in the outer corner, and I'm going to kind of bring it in the shape of where I want the wing to be. Sort of a triangle shape, but so that it's not as there's not so much pigment in like that area of my eye. So, and then building up more as it gets to the outer part of my eye. If that makes any sense at all. This is going on pretty sheer because I'm only taking a very, very tiny amount at a time because I don't want blue fallout all over my face. Yes, today, as I say, it's my birthday and I've got today off. Today's the 4th of March and it's a Wednesday, and I've got a day off today, tomorrow and Friday, so I'm going to be able to film lots of videos for you guys over the next few days, but I also want to do my other love, which is playing my vinyl and also watching some movies. So today I'm going to go to the movies on my own, I think, because, well, I know because I've got no one else to go with because everyone else is at work. But I don't mind that. If I'm going to the pictures, I'm quite happy to go just on my own, and I want to go and see that Parasite movie that won the Oscars, so, and it finishes soon. So, and our cinema at Rushton Lakes, I mentioned this recently, was closed down because of the wind damage. We've had some terrible weather over the last month or so, but it seems to have calmed itself a bit at the moment. But they've just reopened the cinema yesterday, which was great timing from my perspective. So, right, so I've sort of got a a triangle winged sort of shape going on, which is what I was looking for. And it is quite faded out on the corners, which also I wanted. I don't want it to look too harsh and editorial. I want it to look reasonably blended out. But on my eyes themselves, I want it pigmented. So now to build up that colour a bit, I've swapped brushes to a bit more of a denser brush, so I can start building that pigment. And then I'm going in with the shade Your Majesty, and that's pretty much going everywhere on my lid where I've not put the Serpent shade. That shade's hella powdery, I'm going to be quite careful with that. I'm wondering if it would have packed on better over a white base, but I've used the like Painterly Paint Pot as a base. I'll build it up and make it work, and with a shade like this it doesn't matter too much if we get some fallout because you're not going to see it too badly. Packing this on for the time being, and then I'm going to blend between the two shades where it's crossing my eye. At the moment I just want to make sure I get a pigmented wash of that shade, which I think for a lot of people they would use that shade as a blending out shade, but I wanted to see how pigmented I could get it and whether I could use it as one of the focuses in my look, because it's got a slight strange hue to it. It's not just a white or a cream, it has got a bit of a, I don't know, a putty sort of colour to it. It's a strange colour. I think it goes quite well with what I'm trying to achieve here. Right, I'm back in with that Vile Serpent shade, just to make sure I've still got that really prominent in the look. And this is going to be the tricky bit really, is blending between the two of those, but on an angle across my reasonably old eyes, let's face it. But these things are more difficult, but they can be done. So anyone that thinks that they can't, it's just patience and practice. I've just tapped off that brush that we've been using the Your Majesty shade with, and I'm just now using that just to give us a little bit of a blend between the Vile Serpent shade and the Your Majesty shade. Now I'm going in with Deep M by Urban Decay, because if there was ever an eye pencil designed to go with this eyeshadow shade, it's this one. I think this is going to work really well. So I'm going to use that in my waterline and on my lower lash line to meet up with that wing shape. Right, so now the foundations of the look are down, I'm going to go in with the expensive shade from the Beauty Killer palette, and we're going to pack that on the lower lash line and a little bit in the centre of my lids. I'll show you what I mean in a moment. As this is a shimmer, I'm going to spray it for the lower lash line. That's really intense and beautiful. I'm just really packing that on with a smudge brush. This one's from Sigma, just to set that liner that I put there and really make that lower lash line pretty intense. And then I'm just going to pack, as I say, a little bit of that just on the lid space, but not towards the wing, but just to really intensify the V shape that we've got going on the lid. I say this is a shimmer, it's sort of a satiny shimmer, but it's still ultra pretty, and it's given me a lot more colour payoff than the Vile Serpent shade was giving me. Okay, now for the fun part, which is the wing. Always nervous times, but hopefully it'll work. So as I say, I'm going in with the gel liner from Melt in the shade OK Boomer. I'm using the wing liner EO6 brush from Sigma, and we're hoping for the best. Very difficult to show you what I'm doing with this on camera. I'm just really taking my time just to build up that wing shape just slightly underneath the wing that we've got going on with the shadows. Just going to swap to the EO5, which is just a straight liner brush. I think I might find that easier than the winged one. I'm just going to whiz through the other eye and then we'll move on to the inner corner. Okay, that's the wings on. Not completely perfect, but they'll do the job, I think. And for the inner corner, I'm going to take a bit more of that gel liner. I'm going to use it as a base for what I'm going to put in the inner corner. But that looks gorgeous on its own, but I've got a bit of a plan for what I want to put on top. I'm then going to set it using this product, which is Sugar Pills Loose Shadow in Lumi. And that's really making that colour pop. Okay, so that's the look to this point. Just going to hop off camera for mascara and a lip for the look and some highlights, so just all the finishing touches, and I'll be back with you to show you the look. Okay guys, so here's the finished look. Really love how that silver wing turned out. It was tricky to do, but yeah, I really love it. And it works quite well, that gel liner, as like a cream shadow to pack like pigments over the top of. So that worked really well on the inner corner as well. So really loving that so far. My highlighter was Skywalker by Kaleidos Makeup, which is the bluey one. I looked at looking at the green one and I thought I wanted an icy vibe, so I think that worked well. And then for lips, I've done a bit of a combo. So I've got Destined for Stardom by MAC. That one came out in the 2019 collection, the Starring You collection. Then I've got a Kaleidos Makeup Lucid Lip over the top in the shade Crystallize, because again it's got that bluey, icy sort of vibe to it. So really love how it came out. I wanted a sort of frosty kind of look to this. And I don't wear glossy lips too much, but I think the combination of those two together looks really, really pretty, and it's picking up like the shine and sparkle, the kind of snowy sort of vibe that I was looking for. Had a lot of fun creating this one. I hope I've inspired you again to use some more shades from the Jeffree Star Blood Lust palette. That Vile Serpent shade is really, really gorgeous, and I think it works really well with Expensive from the Beauty Killer. I think Expensive is the same shade, but it's got a lot more pigment to it because it's kind of like a satin shade that's got some sparkles in, but it is really drenched in pigment. So I was able to sort of sheer out the matte and then use that Expensive shade being a shimmer on the lower lash line to get a lot more intensity there. So yeah, really like how it turned out. So that's the look for today. I'm going to film another video in a moment because I want to show you my monthly haul and my birthday haul, and I might put a double up together today. Why not? I've got plenty of time to film. I might just put two up today. So one sort of this morning, which will be this look, and then my monthly haul later on this evening. So hope you're here for that. I hope you've enjoyed watching. If you're new here, I'd love it if you consider subscribing before you go. Other than that guys, hope you're having a lovely day, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.